2025 will be mine. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is your moment. The year 2025 is not some far-off dream. It's standing at your doorstep, knocking, begging for you to claim it. And I promise you, by the time we're done here, you'll have no doubt in your mind that 2025 will be your year, not by chance, not by luck, but because you're going to step up, take ownership, and make it happen. Let me tell you something you already know deep down. Greatness is not reserved for the few. It's not hidden behind some secret door guarded by luck or talent. Greatness is in you. It's in every single one of us. But here's the thing, most people never step up to claim it. Most people sit back and wait for the perfect time, the perfect circumstances, the perfect plan. Newsflash, perfect doesn't exist. You create perfect when you decide to act, to move, to live with unstoppable purpose. So, are you ready? Are you ready to declare 2025 will be mine? Because this is not just about words, it's about action. Own your mind, or it will own you. Everything begins in your mind. Your thoughts are either your greatest ally or your worst enemy, and the difference between the two is entirely within your control. Think about this for a second. How many times have you let doubt creep in and stop you before you even started? You see, the mind is like a garden. If you don't plant seeds of positivity and empowerment, weeds of fear and hesitation will grow. And if you let them grow, they'll take over. Your mind is the control center of your life. Every decision, every action, every result starts with a thought. If your mind is running the show unchecked, it's going to follow the path of least resistance, comfort, safety, fear. But that's not where greatness lives. Greatness lives in the uncomfortable. It lives in the space where you confront your limiting beliefs and say, not today. Most people never train their minds to work for them. They let the negative chatter run wild, believing every thought that pops up. But here's the truth, your thoughts are not facts. They're just patterns, and patterns can be changed. When you learn to observe your thoughts, challenge them, and replace them with empowering beliefs, you become unstoppable. Let me ask you this, when you face a challenge, what's the first thing you say to yourself? Is it, I can't do this, or is it, how can I figure this out? That shift, just that little shift, changes everything. It puts you back in the driver's seat. And don't just think about your own mind. Think about the impact you can have when you master it. When you show up as the best version of yourself, you inspire others to do the same. You become the leader, the example, the person who proves what's possible. Here's the thing. Your mind doesn't naturally work for you. It works for survival. It's wired to keep you safe, not to make you thrive. Safety might keep you alive, but it won't make you feel alive. To feel alive, you've got to reprogram your mind to seek growth, contribution, and purpose. How do you do that? Start by feeding it the right information. Read books that expand your perspective. Listen to podcasts that challenge you to think bigger. Surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you. You are the average of what you consume, so make it count. And when the negative voices creep in, and they will, you've got to be ready to counter them. Say it out loud if you have to. That's not my truth. Replace I'm not good enough with I'm learning and growing every day. Replace I can't with how can I? Your words create your reality, so choose them wisely. Another thing, gratitude is the ultimate mindset hack. When you focus on what you're grateful for, fear and negativity lose their power. Start every day by listing 3 things you're thankful for, no matter how small. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, from fear to possibility. You also need to visualize. See yourself succeeding before it happens. Athletes do this all the time. They see themselves winning the race, making the shot, crossing the finish line. Why? Because the mind doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. What you focus on expands. And don't forget about physiology. Your body affects your mind more than you realize. When you stand tall, breathe deeply, and move with energy, you send a signal to your brain that says, I've got this. Try slumping over and saying, I feel amazing. It doesn't work. Change your posture and you'll change your state. But remember, owning your mind isn't a one-time decision, it's a daily commitment. You got to check in with yourself every day and ask, am I letting my mind work for me or against me? If it's the latter, it's time to pivot. And here's the beauty of it. The more you practice, the easier it gets. It's like building a muscle. At first it feels hard, but over time it becomes second nature. And when that happens, you become unstoppable. Turn pain into power. Let's talk about pain. Pain is a universal experience, isn't it? Everyone faces it, no exceptions. But here's what separates those who thrive from those who merely survive. It's not the pain itself, but what you do with it. You see, pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Pain is life's way of waking you up, shaking you, and demanding more from you. You're supposed to give up sometimes and suffer many times. But you shouldn't wait for people to do what you want. And then think about the times you've grown the most in your life. Were they when everything was easy, comfortable, and predictable? Probably not. Growth comes from struggle. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Steel is forged in fire. And you are no different. Pain is not your enemy, it's your teacher. But the problem is most people run from pain. They numb it, ignore it, or blame it on someone else. But running from pain only gives it more power over you. What if, instead of running, you faced it? What if you embraced it? What if you asked, what is this pain here to teach me? Pain is a signal. It's telling you something needs to change. It's calling you to step up, to take a new path, to grow into the person you're meant to be. But here's the thing. Pain doesn't just hand you the lesson. You have to dig for it. You have to sit with it, reflect on it, and decide to use it as fuel. Let me ask you something. What's a painful experience you've been through that shaped who you are today? Maybe it was heartbreak, failure, or loss. Maybe it was a time when you felt like you hit rock bottom. Now think about this. How did it make you stronger? What did you learn? Who did you become because of it? Pain is the birthplace of resilience. It teaches you that you're stronger than you think. It shows you that you can get knocked down and still get back up. And every time you rise, you build the muscle of courage, grit, and determination. Here's another truth about pain. It connects us. When you have experienced pain, you gain empathy. You can look someone in the eye and say, I understand, and mean it. Your pain can become someone else's lifeline. Your story can inspire others to keep going. But let's get real. Using pain as power is not easy. It requires a shift in mindset. Instead of saying, why me, you'll have to ask, why not me? Instead of seeing pain as punishment, you have to see it as preparation. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. This doesn't mean you have to enjoy pain or pretend it's not hard. It's okay to feel it, to cry, to grieve. But don't stay there. Feel it, learn from it, and then channel it into action. Use it to drive you forward, to push you to be better, to create something meaningful. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history came from people turning pain into power. Look at anyone you admire and you'll find a story of struggle. They didn't succeed despite their pain. They succeeded because of it. Pain lit the fire that made them unstoppable. And guess what? That fire is in you too. Every time you face pain, you have a choice. You can let it break you, or you can let it build you. You can let it define you, or you can let it refine you. Think about this. What's a painful experience you're going through right now? How can you use it to grow, to strengthen, to create? What's the lesson? What's the opportunity? What's the gift hiding in the struggle? Pain is power when you decide to make it so. It's the raw material for greatness. And when you learn to embrace it, there's nothing life can throw at you that you can't handle. So the next time pain shows up, don't run. Look it in the eye and say, I see you, and I'm going to use you. Because the truth is, pain doesn't weaken you, it reveals your strength. And when you learn to harness that strength, there's no limit to what you can achieve. Take massive, imperfect action. Action is the bridge between dreams and reality, but not just any action, a massive action. And let me be clear, not perfect action. Perfection is the enemy of progress. If you wait for everything to be just right, you'll be waiting forever. The most successful people in the world didn't start with all the answers. They started with one thing, a decision to move forward. Think about it. How many times have you held yourself back because you didn't feel ready? I'll start when I have more time. I'll go for it when I know more. I'll try when the circumstances are better. These excuses feel comfortable, don't they? But comfort is the silent killer of dreams. Massive action is about throwing those excuses out the window. It's about saying, I might not have it all figured out, but I'm moving anyway. Why? Because clarity comes through action, not the other way around. You don't wait to feel confident before you act. You act, and then confidence follows. Here's the truth. Failure is inevitable, but it's also necessary. Every failure teaches you something. Every misstep reveals a better way forward. The only real failure is standing still, paralyzed by fear of making a mistake. Action, even imperfect action, is always progress. Let me ask you this. What's one thing you've been putting off because you don't feel ready? Write it down. Now ask yourself, what's the smallest step I can take toward it today? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because momentum starts with one small push. When you take massive action, something incredible happens. You create momentum, and momentum is a powerful force. Once you start moving, it's easier to keep moving. You'll start to see opportunities you didn't see before. Doors will open that you didn't even know existed. But here's the catch. Action requires courage. It means stepping into the unknown, risking failure, and embracing discomfort. That's where growth lives. Growth doesn't come from staying in your safe zone. It comes from stretching, reaching, and daring to try. And don't worry about having a perfect plan. Plans are important, but they're not everything. The best plans evolve as you move forward. You don't need to see the entire staircase to take the first step. Focus on what's in front of you and trust that the path will reveal itself. Another key to taking massive action is accountability. Share your goals with someone who will hold you to them, someone who will call you out if you start slacking. Accountability creates pressure, and pressure creates results. Let's talk about speed. Speed matters. The longer you wait to act on an idea, the less likely you are to do it. Ideas have a shelf life. When inspiration strikes, act on it immediately. Don't overthink, don't second guess, just go. And remember, action doesn't always have to be big to be massive. Sometimes massive action is making a phone call you've been avoiding, sending an email that scares you, or waking up an hour earlier to work on your dream. Massive action is about consistency. Small, bold moves every day add up to extraordinary results. But here's the most important thing about action. It changes your identity. When you act, you stop being someone who wants and start being someone who does. You stop being a dreamer and start being a doer. And that shift in identity is everything. Let me be real with you. Action is messy, it's uncomfortable, it's scary, but it's also exhilarating. It's the only way to create the life you want. So, what are you waiting for? Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for the fear to disappear. Start now. Because here's the ultimate truth. The person who acts boldly, imperfectly, relentlessly is the person who wins. And that person can be you starting today. Raise your standards. Let's talk about your standards. Your life right now is a direct reflection of the standards you set for yourself. Not what you want, not what you dream of, what you demand. If you're not where you want to be, it's because you've been tolerating less than you deserve. And let me tell you something powerful. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you settle for. Think about it. What are you tolerating right now? Mediocre health, a job you don't love, relationships that drain you? Stop blaming circumstances. Stop blaming others. The truth is, you've accepted these things because you haven't raised your standards. So, what does it mean to raise your standards? It means setting a new baseline for what you're willing to accept. It means drawing a line in the sand and saying, this is the minimum I will tolerate from myself and others. When you raise your standards, you instantly elevate your life because you start operating at a higher level. Here's the thing. Most people set low standards because they're afraid. Afraid of failure, afraid of judgment, afraid they're not enough. But let me tell you something. Fear is not your truth. Fear is a lie that keeps you playing small. When you raise your standards, you start asking more of yourself. You stop making excuses. You stop blaming external factors. You take full ownership of your life. And when you take ownership, you unlock your true potential. Let's get real. You already have high standards in certain areas of your life. Maybe you demand excellence in your career, but you let your health slide. Or maybe you prioritize your relationships, but neglect your personal growth. Imagine what would happen if you raised your standards across the board. Imagine the ripple effect it would create in every area of your life. And raising your standards isn't about being perfect. It's about striving for excellence. It's about refusing to settle for good enough when you know you're capable of great. It's about holding yourself accountable to the highest version of you. One of the fastest ways to raise your standards is to change your environment. Look around you. Who are you spending time with? What are you consuming? Your standards are heavily influenced by the people and ideas you surround yourself with. If you want to elevate your life, surround yourself with people who challenge you to grow. Another key is to get crystal clear on your why. Why do you want to raise your standards? What's at stake if you don't? When your why is strong enough, your standards naturally rise. You stop tolerating anything that doesn't align with your vision. But let me warn you, when you raise your standards, it will be uncomfortable. People might resist, you might doubt yourself, but discomfort is a sign you're growing. Lean into it, embrace it. It means you're breaking through old limitations. Let's talk about boundaries. Raising your standards also means setting boundaries, both with yourself and with others. It means saying no to what doesn't serve you, even if it's hard. It means holding yourself to a higher level of discipline, even when it's inconvenient. Here's the truth. Your standards set the tone for your life. When you raise them, the world adjusts. People start treating you differently. Opportunities start aligning with your new level. It's not magic, it's you stepping into your power. And don't just think about what raising your standards does for you. Think about the impact it has on those around you. When you hold yourself to a higher standard, you inspire others to do the same. You become a leader, a role model, a force of positive change. But this isn't a one-time decision. Raising your standards is a daily commitment. It's choosing to show up as your best self every single day. Even when it's hard, it's a practice, not a destination. So let me ask you, what's one area of your life where you need to raise your standards? What have you been tolerating that's no longer acceptable? Decide right now to level up. Decide right now to demand more of yourself. Because here's the truth, the only limits in your life are the ones you set. When you raise your standards, you raise your life. Master your energy. Let's talk about your energy. Your energy is the lifeblood of everything you do, your relationships, your career, your goals, and your happiness. And if you don't master your energy, you'll never master your life. It's that simple. And here's the secret. Energy isn't something you just wake up with. It's something you create, protect, and amplify. Think about the days when you feel unstoppable, full of energy, drive, and focus. How much do you accomplish? How do you show up for yourself and the people you care about? Now compare that to the days when you feel drained, when your energy is low. Even the smallest tasks feel monumental. Energy is your ultimate resource, and mastering it begins with understanding this truth. Energy flows where focus goes. If you're constantly focusing on what's wrong, what's missing, or what could go wrong, your energy will reflect that. But when you focus on solutions, gratitude, and opportunity, you generate energy that propels you forward. One of the biggest energy killers is stress. Stress isn't just in your head, it affects your body, your emotions, and your spirit. But here's the good news. Stress is not the problem. The way you respond to stress is the problem. When you learn to reframe stress as a challenge instead of a threat, it stops draining you and starts fueling you. Let's talk about your body. Your physical state is the foundation of your energy. If you're not moving your body, feeding it properly, and resting enough, you're robbing yourself of the energy you need to thrive. Exercise isn't just about fitness. It's about vitality. When you move your body, you release endorphins, improve circulation, and ignite your energy. What about what you're putting into your body? Food is fuel. If you're running on junk, your energy will reflect that. Start treating your body like the high-performance machine it is. Hydrate. Eat foods that nourish you. Cut out what drags you down. The difference is night and day. But energy isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional too. What are you feeding your mind? Are you surrounding yourself with negativity, drama, and fear? Or are you immersing yourself in inspiration, knowledge, and positivity? Your mental diet is just as important as your physical diet. Let's not forget about emotional energy. Negative emotions like anger, resentment, and envy are energy vampires. They drain you and keep you stuck. But here's the thing. You control your emotions, not the other way around. When you shift your emotional state, you shift your energy. Gratitude is the fastest way to do this. When you focus on what you're grateful for, you instantly elevate your energy. And then there's spiritual energy, the energy that comes from purpose, passion, and alignment. When you're connected to something bigger than yourself, your energy becomes limitless. What's your why? Why do you get up in the morning? Why do you do what you do? When your energy is aligned with your purpose, nothing can stop you. Let's talk about the people in your life. Energy is contagious. Who are you spending your time with? Are they lifting you up or dragging you down? Protect your energy by surrounding yourself with people who inspire, encourage, and challenge you to be your best. Another key to mastering your energy is managing your time. Time and energy are deeply connected. If you're spending your time on things that don't matter, you're wasting your energy. Focus on what truly moves the needle in your life. Say no to distractions. Prioritize what's important. And let's be real, energy mastery isn't about being on all the time. Rest is just as important as action. Burnout happens when you neglect recovery. Sleep, relaxation, and moments of stillness aren't luxuries, they're necessities. Your energy comes from balance, not overdrive. One of the most powerful ways to master your energy is through rituals. Morning rituals, evening rituals, and even midday resets. These are the anchors that keep your energy aligned throughout the day. Maybe it's meditation, journaling, or simply stepping outside to breathe deeply. Find what works for you and commit to it. Energy mastery is a choice. It's about taking responsibility for how you feel, how you show up, and how you live your life. Every day you have the power to either protect and amplify your energy or let it be depleted. The choice is yours. So let me ask you, how are you managing your energy right now? Are you fueling it or draining it? Decide today to make energy your priority, because when you master your energy, you master your life. Embrace the power of focus. Focus is your superpower. It's the invisible force that determines whether you thrive or struggle, succeed or stagnate. In a world full of distractions, focus is rare. And that's why it's so powerful. When you master your focus, you become unstoppable, because your energy, time, and effort are all directed toward your ultimate goals. Let's be honest. How often are you truly focused? Not multitasking, not half listening, not scrolling on your phone while thinking about something else. I'm talking about deep, undivided attention on what matters most. Most people spend their days scattered, doing a little bit of everything, but never going all in on anything. And then they wonder why they're stuck. Here's the truth. What you focus on expands. If you focus on your problems, they grow. If you focus on your fears, they take over. But if you focus on solutions, opportunities, and progress, that's what you'll create. Focus is a magnet. It pulls in whatever you're paying attention to. One of the biggest obstacles to focus is the endless noise around us. Social media, emails, notifications, other people's demands. It's constant. But here's the thing. You have the power to control your environment. Eliminate distractions. Turn off your notifications. Create a space that supports focus instead of sabotaging it. And focus isn't just about eliminating distractions. It's about clarity. Do you know what you want? I mean, really know. Not just vague goals like I want to be successful or I want to be happy. Clarity is power. When you know exactly what you're working toward, focus becomes effortless because your mind has a target. Once you have clarity, the next step is prioritization. Not everything deserves your attention. In fact, most things don't. The secret to focus is learning to say no. No to what doesn't align with your goals. No to what drains your energy. No to what's urgent but not important. Let me share something powerful. Your brain isn't wired for multitasking. Every time you switch tasks, you lose momentum. Focus is about single tasking, putting all your energy into one thing at a time. When you do that, you work faster, smarter, and better. But focus isn't just about work. It's about presence. How present are you in your relationships? When you're with loved ones, are you really there, or is your mind somewhere else? Focus is a gift you give not only to yourself, but to the people who matter most.